All right, so here we are, April 15th. Happy Tax Day, everybody. Yeah, this is the day we actually are not real fond of, but that's okay. Um, some of you got refunds, some of you had to pay taxes. Either way, it's off our plate. We can stop thinking about it now. I'm a man on a mission. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth? All right, so this week we're going to talk about housing. And as always, I'm going to go down to my computer. As always, I'm going to start with this slide right here. If you remember correctly, just as a refresher, which I'm going to do every week, if you have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, that's considered a neutral market. Less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. Greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. We have all of the above. So pay attention. This is what's going on in our area. Let's start off with Escambia County. So here's Escambia County. As you notice right here on the left, and for those of you who are listening to this as a podcast, I'm going to talk about the numbers as far as the purchase price. These are your purchase price. Over here on the right, if you're watching this video, that's the estimated month. So remember the slide just a second ago. Less than 6 is considered a buyer's market. So from anywhere from 0 to 200,000 is a hyper seller's market right now. It's 2.1 months worth of inventory all the way down to, that says 0.8. There's less than a month's inventory under $50,000, which kind of makes sense right now, right? I mean, what are we finding out there that's under $50,000? A lot of this, I bet you, is land. So a lot of this activity is land, but it's even getting gobbled up. So less than 1 month's inventory at the 0 to 50, but 0 to 200,000 is a hyper seller's market. Now, if you're selling between 200 and looks like 350, between 200 and 350, you are on a seller's market, but it's not a hyper seller's market. 300 to 350 sitting at 5 months worth of inventory. 250 to 300 is 4.7, and 200 to 250 is 3.4. So as you go down, you go down in inventory as well. That's still considered a seller's market. So you need to price those listings a little bit more aggressively because we're sitting at a seller's market. What I want you to pay attention to is from 350 to 450. There's 7 months worth of inventory from 350 to 400 and 6.1 months worth of inventory between 4 and 450. That's a neutral market. Pay attention on how you're pricing those at a neutral market. But look at this, between 450 and 500, 11.2 months worth of inventory. Now, what does that tell me? If I've got something that I'm selling between 450 and 500,000, if I've got something I'm selling, I better differentiate that because 11.2 months worth of inventory means it's a hyper buyer's market. There's a lot of inventory at that price point. That means you're going to probably see at that price point, if this continues week after week after week, you're going to start seeing price reductions. You're going to start seeing longer times on the market. You just are. You can't help it because that's a hyper buyer's market. So you got to differentiate yourself. If you're coming on in that price point, you better differentiate yourself multiple ways. It's not just the hyper seller's market we've seen the last few years. This shows that's a hyper buyer's market. Now, between 5 and 550, it's a seller's market slightly. So it's 5 months worth of inventory. Anything over 550 in Escambia County is definitely a hyper buyer's market. Anything over 550 is a hyper buyer's market. The 650 to 700, I think that one comes down to where it's only considered a buyer's market, but that looks like it's just because we don't have many active. So yeah, there's only 8 active in that price point altogether. So anyways, that is Escambia County. Let's go take a look at Santa Rosa County. Okay, so again, over here is our numbers, our price points, and over here is our month's inventory. 0 to looks like 250. You remember Escambia County, 0 to 200 was considered a hyper seller's market. Looks like in Santa Rosa County, 0 to 250 is a hyper seller's market, ranging anywhere from 2.6 months down to under a month. This is interesting. 100 to 150 is under a month's inventory. So if you've got something that falls in that price range, that'd be a good time. Give me a call. Between 250 and 450, it looks like that's a seller's market, not a hyper seller's market. So you do need to start differentiating a little. Okay. 450 to 500 is a neutral market, 6.2 months. So that's a neutral market. 5 to 550 is 9 months worth of inventory. So that's a buyer's market, basically creeping up onto a hyper buyer's market. 550 to 600 comes down a little bit. It's a 7.2. So they classify that as a neutral market, but that's actually creeping more towards a buyer's market. And then anything above 600, hyper buyer's market in Santa Rosa County. So there's the numbers. These numbers were pulled yesterday, April 14th. I get the report first thing in the morning. They pulled the numbers from me last night. So anyways, there's the market. As always, I'm not trying to give you any fluff. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Have a great week. I'm a man on a mission. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?